Yeah, I am the mongoose, but you can just call me Goose. To my right, America's favorite degenerate gambler, Salbaps.
Phillies World Series.
Phillies World Series. What do you were down in South Philly mucking it up?
There in the literal heart of the mob. Like, people were lighting up blunts in the street, probably full of PCP. People were just giving each other beers in the street. Like, this one guy, he gave me a whole box of wine. He's like, here, just take it. And I'm like, what? First off, I didn't drink any of it.
Right.
And my girlfriend's like, we should drink that. I'm like, no, we're not drinking this. We don't know who this man is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what Phillies players on the back of his shirt. He's giving us free alcohol. I don't know where he came from.
Did you ever go to that MILF's party? You sent me just the ass of this MILF.
Dude. So, we're walking down, like, we're trying to go home, which is like fucking blocks away.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm ending this party short is because the Steelers are on Sunday night.
Right.
So, of course, I'm like, I'm going to watch the Steelers. I don't care about any of this. I mean, it's cool for, Philly, but I mean, I kind of wanted to go home after they were chanting, "We want Houston." And I'm like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, like, good luck with that.
Yeah. So I'm like, let's go home. And then she knows this, like, woman somehow, and she's, like, physically fit. And the whole way there, she's like, do you think I'm 59? I'm like, no, I do not think you're 59.
No.
She's like, that's right. I was just at this bar, and they all thought I was this age and this age. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Like, this is wild. So we go in her house, which, by the way, is like a $700,000, like, fucking South Philly house. It's
God. Wow.
Like, so it's like, dude, these people pay money, like, for these places. But they're dope cribs. Like, they're really dope.
Okay.
And we go in there, and she's just, like, giving out alcohol to people. There's people in there, like, chilling, like, Philly. Dude, it's just like it was like a college party. It was like a college town. It was like I felt like I was at, like, a big, like, win after, like Wisconsin just knocked off, like, a ranked, like, a top 5, like, Ohio State team or something. Like, that's what it felt like. It felt very collegiate. Like, everybody was just interacting with each other. Ages didn't matter. College kids, teenagers, 59-year-old MILFs. It didn't matter.
So there was one night in Philly people weren't getting carjacked, is what you're saying?
So the cops were there, but they were just, like, watching everyone and laughing. Like, people were on, like, breaking car. I mean, they was still chaos.
Yeah.
But they, like, they have no power there. Like, cops have no power. I don't even know if they have guns. They probably have, like, notepads and pens.
It's like England, stop, or...
Yeah, it's a stop or we'll dox you. Yeah. It's like they don't have any power there. So they just let you do... They're just... It's funny and sad, but... I mean, let the people celebrate, dude. I mean, they love their sport. Like... The thing about Philly, I'm not a fan of their teams, but you got to respect the diehard, like, attitude and environment.
Fucking
hooligans. Dude, these teams throughout the playoffs, like, shit their pants playing against these teams.
Right.
It's like one of the Braves players made a comment, and this is a team who won the World Series last year. He made a comment that he never heard a stadium that loud in his whole life. Now, this is someone who's been playing for how many different tournaments you think they played through high school, et cetera, all that. And even the MLB, I mean, this team played the Dodgers last year, and they're like, yeah, well, this was the loudest I've ever heard. So you got to love it that we live close enough to, like, a real, like, powerhouse on the East Coast like this, in the whole country.
No, yeah, it's, like I said before, the only town that I think can rival Philly as far as just craziness is Boston.
It's pretty equal, but I would give Philly the edge because the population's higher here.
Yeah.
Where Boston's just like the Town movie. It's just like a bunch of, like,
right. And I would
opioid addicted, like.
Well, I wouldn't, dude. If you go to Boston now, it is like super, like, elite, high class. Like the town, like, doesn't even exist anymore.
No, it actually doesn't. Yeah.
Outside of, like, the Southeast. That's like
that's like the South Philly of, like, Boston.
Yeah, like the South Philly of Boston. Like the Southies are still, they'll fucking
because these people in South Philly will actually fight you.
True,
like, they will.
But I'm just saying that they're just a very elitist. It's like in Good Will Hunting when he gets in the fight with the Harvard douchebag. Like, that's basically like most of Boston now.
Yes.
Like the real fucking hardcore Red Sox
I know. I'm
fans.
a Celtics fan, so I know. Like,
yeah,
I
like
get
they live outside of Boston now. Like they're in suburban, New England there.
I was in this group chat with these Boston kids, and the one kid I like a lot, but they were just like MIT dorks, dude.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
They just like weren't cool. Like,
yeah. So Philly fucking bananas. I wouldn't ever want to live in the city, but cool for the sports teams.
yeah, dude, it's awesome.
So it was a wild week in college football, as it always is. Yo, Salbaps fucking crushed it.
I had a good card, and if you listen to the last show, I said I have a really good feeling about this card. So
You crushed it, my friend. Let's go over your picks here quick. You had the Georgia Tech, Virginia under
slayed
47.
Slayed that.
Did that even hit 30?
No, it was like 17-16.
Yeah, it was crazy. Bama minus 21. Once again, Mike Leach just has no answer for Nick Saban. We got fucked on Cincinnati minus 3. It was the boss cock lock. They won by 2. Cincinnati, I don't know what to say. I mean, I expected them to be down this year. To not cover, though, against an SMU team.
They should have. I mean, to be fair, they basically covered. I mean, it was fake. Like, that was fake.
We'll talk more about them, I think, a little bit later.
Yeah, it was fake.
Kansas Baylor over 58. That pushed.
It did push, yes.
You had Oregon minus 6. Great pick there.
Rolled.
And then Ohio State minus 30, who rolled. So you had one loss on the Boss Cock Lock, which probably is as much my fault, and then a push, and everything else you won. So
yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I was blowing leaves today. And I mean the actual physical leaves and not some truck driver off the Pennsylvania Turnpike 298. I was blowing leaves. And Salbaps, when you have a fucking big-ass leaf-blowing machine, it's pretty easy. Until you get some leaves that are wet. And they have a little weight on. And they are just the most stubborn fuckers in the world. You can't move them. You can't fucking move them. That is Oklahoma State football. That is Mike Gundy. It seems like every single year we say, oh, Oklahoma State's going to take a step back. Oklahoma State, they're not going to be any good. And then you look up and they're 9-3, 10-2.
They're ninth in the country.
I had Texas minus 6.5 at Stillwater. And now I will say I do think Quinn Ewers got hurt. They haven't talked about it publicly. I do think he got banged up. But it doesn't matter because fucking Spencer Sanders, he's banged up too. Mike Gundy finds a way to win. Every fucking single year. Don't bet against Mike. I'm done. I'm not betting against Mike Gundy for literally 5 years. Until he is literally a correspondent OAN, I am not doing anything where I am remotely...
Or he just runs for office like Oz. He just runs.
We'll talk about that debate, I think, a little bit later. So I got fucked there on the Texas-Oklahoma State game. I did nail Duke plus 10. I thought that was way too many points for Miami. They won outright. Miami had 8 turnovers.
That was a great pick, by the way, Duke.
Thanks. The rest of them blew, though, because I had Kansas plus 10. They lost by 12.
Yeah, but that was that was a good play, dude. Like they was there. They were down 5 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I hear you. Kansas State plus 3.5. Now I will defend this pick. Kansas State was up 28-10.
There's no excuse for what happened
before Taylor Martinez got hurt.
Yep.
And then the backup quarterback for Kansas State, Howard, he got hurt. And then the third stringer, the second pass of the game, he threw a pick.
Once you get to third stringers in college football, it's like you get to like the Penn State Iowa game of last year.
Yeah,
it's like, dude, that's it.
Well, that wasn't even a third stringer.
I wish I would have live fucking bet TCU in that game,
dude.
I don't know why I didn't, because the fucking Phillies game was on. That's why.
Yeah, it was brutal because you could just see. TCU, I love this team. They're so fun to watch. I've said a million times. They're so fast. Everybody in the country is saying it now. I think I was saying it before they were, but nevertheless, this team, TCU, it seems like every single week, the quarterback on the opposing team gets fucking hurt. That's why we're going to talk about this game in a little bit. West Virginia is only a 7.5-point dog at home in Morgantown, but nevertheless, like West Virginia sucks, and they're only a 7.5-point dog. This TCU team, I'm telling you right now, like they're awesome, but they're gonna lose a game. They have to. You can't.
That's such like a gay Vegas line. Like TCU's 14 points better than them.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, they've been shit lucky, and I think that luck is about to run out, and Vegas is going to make some money on it. And then I had West Virginia talking about fucking Morgantown this week. I had West Virginia +7. They got rolled. This young kid for Texas Tech at quarterback. Tyler Shuck is coming back. He was their game 1 starter. I don't know if it matters because this young kid. I said at the beginning of the year I had a couple tickets for Texas Tech +5,000 to win the Big 12. Zach Keeley, I don't think they're going to win the Big 12, but I do think this is a team, as we go into the last home stretch here, is going to start to really surprise people. They do play Baylor this week. We'll see what happens. And then I lost fucking the Cincinnati -3 Boss Cocklock. So it was a fucking ugly week for me, but as you just heard, I can defend basically all my picks except Texas. I can't defend. I ate the Texas bullshit sandwich.
I think I said this last week, like in betting, there's plays that are the correct plays that don't actually like win. I know that sounds stupid to people that may not be as like much of a degenerate as we are, but like all of your plays were covering actually massively, like at one point.
Not Texas.
Well, so Texas is that's why you went on the Mike Gundy rant, and I get that, but like once again, I think there was a little bit of misinformation they're putting out about Quinn Ewers as well there too. So you kind of got fucked on that. But, I mean, other than that, Kansas should have covered. They should have covered.
They were with a couple minutes left.
I mean, and the TCU thing was bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just bullshit. That's just straight up bullshit.
Can I bring something up here?
Yeah. And Cincinnati's that was bullshit.
Listen, part of the reason we love college football is because of the distinct home field advantage that teams get. More so, NFL is usually what, 3 points?
You get 3 points for being home.
Right. In college football, I would say it's more like 3 to 6. And then you get a game like Penn State in the whiteout, a night game at Tiger Stadium, a night game as we saw against Utah in week 1 at the Swamp. I'm saying those home field advantages are worth 7.5 points. That sounds like a fucking lot. Like most people though will power rate at 5.5, 6. I'm telling you, it's more like 7.5.
Depending on who you are, though.
I don't think I've ever seen in my life home field matter more than this year in college football. And it's not even teams. Listen, there's a couple teams here I've written down that fucking just don't bet against them at home. Number 1 is Oregon, the Oregon Ducks. You nailed
gross.
Autzen Stadium. Josh Pate was there. He said if you close your eyes, you would think you're in an SEC stadium.
They're gross.
Listen,
dude.
Oregon may be fucking woke than AOC on crack, but when it comes to football, they still show out and they still get loud. And as we've said before, Autzen Stadium is built to trap in the acoustics and make it difficult for you to play there.
That's what it is more than like the people. It's like,
dude, still 60,000 people.
No, I know that. And we talked about how Oregon isn't as. First off, they're about to elect a Republican governor, by the way.
Yeah.
Phil Knight just threw like loot.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Like, so we might need to like actually take back how woke we think it is there, other than Portland.
Right.
Because I don't know where these people are coming from. But regardless, that stadium absolutely sucks in sound. It's like a sound studio.
Yeah. And
only they can function with it. And Bo Nix, dude, is like, this kid has come a long way from where he was. It's funny. It's the first game he ever started in college football was against Oregon.
Yeah. It shows just too, like...
And now he plays for Oregon.
I think
he's leading them.
I think Gus Malzahn is overall a good football coach. He's definitely not...
He's not an SEC
He's not an SEC coach, but he's doing good at UCF. He's a solid coach. But when it comes to quarterback play, dude, this guy runs fucking motion, trap, bullshit, zone schemes. Like he's not a good quarterback developer. And
he calls plays like Madden.
Yeah, basically. So some other teams here that I'm just saying at home. Listen, I was all over fucking Penn State. I didn't bet it because I thought Tanner Morgan may be the quarterback. As soon as I saw that Minnesota had the backup there for a whiteout, you don't fuck with the whiteout. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, why is Penn State not doing a whiteout for Ohio State?" Because morons, Fox has the rights to the game. Fox does big noon kickoff. I fucking hate it. It's a giant jerk-off fest that the execs at Fox think is cool. It's not. But nevertheless, Fox has the rights to the Ohio State-Penn State game. That is this week's big noon kickoff. That's why Penn State had to do the whiteout for Minnesota. I know it sucks. The whiteout is the only hope we have ever had against Ohio State. It has been quite successful. Ain't happening this week. Nevertheless, though, Penn State at Beaver, James Franklin, he is a completely different team. Utah, we just saw Utah knock off USC. For whatever reason, Utah at home as opposed to the road, completely different teams. I'm going to give you one more team here, and they do not have a distinct home field advantage, but I'm going to give you some numbers that are going to blow your mind. The Cal Golden Bears. Listen to this. Cal is just
I got to hear this.
Cal is just 8-15 against the spread as a favorite under head coach Justin Wilcox. However, the Bears have thrived in the underdog role, going 23-9-1 against the spread. That's 71%, Salbaps.
And that's all that matters is the spread here.
That record jumps to 17-3 against the spread, 84.2%, when Wilcox's team is getting at least 7 points like it is this Saturday.
Dude, I mean, straight up, Cal's 3-1 at home. Period. Straight up this year.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and you know what's crazy is Marshawn Lynch just went into their Hall of Fame, and he even called out how like basically woke the home field advantage has been, or the crowd has been, but it still hasn't mattered because this Cal team is just drastically better at home. And I mean, you can say that about basically every program except Miami, who's like literally worse at home than they are on the road, which, I mean, what's that say about
it? Makes no sense because, like, their stadium's dope.
Stadium's dope, but no one's there. And it's still...
But they go out for the Dolphins game, though. I mean, like, the Steelers played at Miami the next day. And
it's 17 miles from campus, dude. And, like, Miami, like, they need an on-campus... And they're going to get it soon. There's too much crypto money there. But Miami's going to build an on-campus... They just should never got rid of the Orange Bowl. That's where they fucked themselves. They put up that bullshit Marlins baseball park, and they got rid of the Orange Bowl. And
dude, that Marlins scam was like one of the biggest rackets in the history of the world.
Yeah.
That got them nothing. I mean, like, they really thought that was going to be like this fucking money machine. Like, remember when they first like rebranded that?
Yeah.
They had like Ozzie Guillen, the manager. Yeah. They had like these profile players, and it just was a disaster. Back to your Cal point. Oregon is 1-2 on the road against the spread.
Yeah.
And they were laying 17 in this game.
That little preview here, that's going to be one of my picks.
Cool.
I have a significant wager on that game, actually.
Cool.
So one other topic I want to talk about here, Salbaps. Did you see talking about third-string quarterbacks, and like that's when you live bet the other team?
Yeah, because the drop-off's so massive.
Hold that point, because a man by the name of Hugh I Love Hookers Freeze, with a third-string quarterback, just destroyed BYU. Listen, Hugh Freeze, he bought hookers for his players. He bought hookers for himself. Who fucking cares? I'm a Ron Paul libertarian. I believe prostitution, the oldest job trade in the history of mankind, should be legal.
Why is it illegal? Why?
Because...
What is the legislation behind it? Like, what's the why?
As I always say, you can't legislate morality. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, this guy hired some hookers. Who cares? He is an outstanding football coach. He is literally building Liberty into freaking Notre Dame. They're in like small school, rural Virginia. If he's not the coach at Auburn next year, all you crazy, powerful Auburn boosters who like to toot your horn and think you're so smart, you're the biggest fucking idiots in the world. This guy already proved he can win in the SEC. He did it at Ole Miss. He's the only man in the history of Nick Saban's tenure at Alabama. He beat Saban twice in a row, 2 years in a row, and he did it with Chad Kelly. Do you think Chad Kelly's cool, Salbaps?
I don't.
No, that dude was a literal crackhead.
He literally is on video smoking crack.
Literally on video smoking crack. And Hugh Freeze found a way to beat Saban with him 2 years in a row. If you're Auburn, you got to hire this guy. If you're Hugh Freeze, you go in there and you just apologize a million times and you just fucking win. And as soon as you start winning, everybody there at Auburn and the SEC is going to forget real quick that you were getting some freaking BJs and HJs for your boys.
So I'm pulling up when prostitution was made illegal in this country.
Okay.
So I think that the reason they did this was because the mafia was Lucky Luciano was making a shitload of money in these brothels, I think. And I think a way to help, they couldn't get these guys. They were like untouchable, man.
Yeah.
Like they didn't have any way to really get these guys on anything. They couldn't get them on money. They couldn't get them on anything. The only thing to get them on was this. So that they knew that they like had these brothels. And I think it was just, if they made it illegal, it was a way for them to actually like arrest them.
That makes sense.
Because, like, you remember how much of a hard-on the government had for, like, the mafia in, like, the 30s and, like, 40s?
And then that led to the speakeasies, I'm going to guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, so, like, I think this is why. It's actually, like, Lucky Luciano's fault.
Wow.
In my personal opinion. I just had to look this up because, like, it's so dumb, dude. Like, they're, like, if some trucker out there has to drive, like, 18 hours, like, through, like, 9 states, and he just wants to, like, cop a BJ and eat, like, a gas station hot dog. Yeah. Who cares?
Who cares?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll laugh.
I'm thinking back to talking about SEC and hookers. Remember when Bobby Petrino was riding his Harley with that like 25-year-old co-ed, and he got fired for that. Like, okay, I understand
she wasn't even a whore. She was literally just a hot chick that he started dating. They were like dating.
Yeah. And which was also what Brian Harsin was rumored to be doing this, before the season started. He was, banging that 22-year-old intern or whatever. So I don't know. If you're Auburn, dude, Brian Harsin, dude, I always said this is a Northwest Boise State freaking coach who never even was that great at Boise State. What the hell is he doing in the SEC? What the hell is he doing at Auburn? Auburn is a legit top 15 program. Hire Hugh Freeze right now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, Salbaps, let's get into this next week here. I did horrible last week, but
it's new week, man.
I'm telling you right now, I killed it in the fucking stock market. Killed it.
My crypto is up. Fuck AOC.
That's about to turn. I actually just made a huge play shorting crypto, but
it's a long.
We'll keep the positive vibes going for you. Also, had some very successful insurance sales.
You did, yes.
So
very significant figures.
I'm feeling really good, but now listen, I have some plays.
It's crazy how money will change your whole attitude on life. It's like you get up in the morning, you're like,
kind of like that Cal stat I gave you. There's a couple plays this week that scared the shit out of me, but I'm making them.
There's tons of traps here, dude, and I'm probably going to be betting a couple of them.
All right, let me hear your picks.
Well, the trap I'm speaking of is literally Cincinnati plus 1.5 at UCF, which is stupid.
I hate it.
I mean,
I hate it.
Look, I like. There were some things I saw to Cincinnati that I did like.
Like what?
Look, dude, like they're not that bad, bro. Like, I mean, yeah,
their linebacker Pace is a stud. I'll give you that.
Like, from a betting standpoint here, it's super duper trappy. But I will say this: Cincinnati is a 6-1 football team, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're 6-1 football team. My dad always says, "Do you think if you think an underdog can win the game, take them. Do you think Cincinnati can win this game? Of course they can win. I mean, it's not a stretch to say yes, they can.
I also think they could lose by 30.
They could. They could also win,
especially since UCF lost at East Carolina. Like every year,
Cincinnati is 0-3 on the road against the spread. So, like, this is dumb. Yep. You should probably not.
That was the other thing I was going to say.
Not actually take this, but I'm going to take a shot on Cincinnati because I do believe I'm looking for low-hanging fruit this week.
Not only this year, Luke Fickell overall, as great as he's been at Cincinnati against the spread on the road in the American Athletic
This has been a problem. This isn't even recent.
This dude doesn't cover.
This has been a problem, dude. So, like, yeah, this is super trappy, but I'm going to take Cincinnati here. I'm going to give them a shot, dude. I'm going to go with probability overrides in the universal terms of services.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of like the roulette thing. It's like at some point you kind of have to cover, right? So, my other game is tomorrow night, on Thursday night. We're filming this on Wednesday. And I am taking NC State minus 13.5. Hosting Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech is an awful football team. They're 0-3 straight up on the road. They're 0-3 on the spread on the road, Virginia Tech. I just think NC State's going to blow them out here. I don't even like NC State, but they're still 5-2, and they're still 4-0 at home.
Since Leary got hurt at quarterback for NC State, they're a completely different team. Having said that, this is like this is the third start, I think, for the backup there. He should get better. They should know what he can and can't do. And this is still an NC State defense that is top 10 in the country.
Top 10 in the country. Dude, look at their games. I mean, seriously.
Okay.
So that's my other game there.
Okay.
We're going with Syracuse -2.5 hosting Notre Dame. And the reasoning is I believe Syracuse is actually better than their ranking. I think Syracuse is like a top 10 team. I think they're fucking good. I think their defense is good. I think they're fucking absolutely stingy. I think that they score enough. They create turnovers. And if you just want to bet stats, like, I mean, this team's 5-0 at home.
I have absolutely no handle on Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is 1-4 against the spread this year.
I know. I've made money with them and against them this year. I wouldn't touch this game with a fucking 10-foot stick. But listen, Notre Dame is still physical as hell. If you're gonna beat Syracuse, you're gonna have to be physical along with them, and Notre Dame can do that. But having said that, it's in the artist formerly known as the Carrier Dome.
You just had a whole segment on home field advantage, right?
This
is like to go in here.
That's what I was just going to say.
With a ranked Syracuse team, that's when their fans come out, dude. When they're actually like, there's something to see. Like, this is Syracuse. Like, this isn't like New York City, dude. Like, there's not much to do up there. If they have a ranked football team, they're going.
I'm with you. That's exactly what I was saying. I like this matchup for Notre Dame. I think on a neutral field, I would take Notre Dame. But in Syracuse, on this field, you're probably right.
It's low-hanging fruit. I'm just going to grab it. Like I said, I'm doing low-hanging fruit this week.
Okay.
So then my next wager is going to be the under in Kentucky, Tennessee. It is 70 fucking, I think, what is it, 70?
No way.
No, I'm sorry. It's 62.5. Sorry,
yeah, there's no way. Yeah,
it's 62.5. Okay. I like the under here, dude. Like, these are two ranked football teams. I don't think we're going to get this Bama shootout we saw a couple weeks ago at Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee's quarterback is disgusting, dude. He's gross. I like watching him. He's fun to watch. He's really, really fun to watch. He does Mahomesy type shit, dude.
I actually love this play because now that I think of it, obviously Tennessee has the most dynamic offense. It's like them or Ohio State, last I looked at it, are tops in the country. They also, when it comes to time of possession, like they shoot off a play like every 15 seconds. Kentucky, though, on the flip side, is like the fifth slowest. Like, you take out the service academies, they're like the fifth slowest in the country.
Yeah.
So here's the question. If Kentucky is able to get enough first downs, they are absolutely going to muck up and slow this game down. And I think that this under hits. Dude,
Kentucky's not going to beat this team or keep with them by outscoring them. I think they know that. So
my concern with this in your play is Kentucky's offensive line is garbage. Absolute garbage. It's part of the reason.
That's awesome. Then maybe they won't even score.
True, you got that. I'm just saying as far as time and possession.
Sharps are betting this down. This opened at 64.
Okay.
62.5.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Yeah. So the next one is I'm fading my boys. I'm going with Jim Harbaugh, and I'm taking Michigan, dude. I'm taking Michigan -23. I think Michigan State sucks. I think Michigan State has no shot in this game. However, weirdly, Michigan State is a 500 spread team. Not sure how much that really matters. And Michigan is a 4-3 team against the spread this year.
Oof.
But what does that mean? I mean, trends are only trends. At the end of the day, Michigan's 5-0 at home. They're 7-0 entirely. It's not like they
Isn't Sparty? I mean, you're the Sparty expert. Aren't they playing better in these recent weeks, though?
At home, they're at home. They've been at home.
Yeah, true.
They've been at home.
Yeah, and this seems like just one of those games on the road. They get fucking massacred.
Yeah, those games were at home.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So what we're doing next is we are going with.
Wait, wasn't that 6?
No, I got my last one. Okay. UCLA, Stanford. I'm going with UCLA -16.5. I think this is hysterically low. I think UCLA smokes this team. Stanford's 1-2 against the spread on the road, 1-3 straight up on the road. We know that UCLA's 5-0 straight up at home. They're a 6-1 team. Nobody's really fucked with UCLA all year.
Which makes no sense because you talk about like woke Pac-12 attendance, dude. The Rose Bowl and this is a top 10 team, top 15 team.
Yeah, they are, literally.
Literally, like...
They didn't even get penalized for losing to Oregon. Like, dude, they essentially just kept them where they were.
They have, like, 8,000 fans, like, at these games. Okay, and I don't know if I've said it before, but a little California geography for you. UCLA is basically on the ocean. It's in Westwood, which is right by Santa Monica there, on the Pacific. Pasadena, where the Rose Bowl is, fucking awesome. Glorious. Most, best setting in college football. No, Stanford's Palo Alto. I'm saying part of the reason, though, for UCLA's horrible attendance is the Rose Bowl is about 16 miles, I want to say.
So it's like the Miami effect.
It's a Miami effect, except Miami doesn't have the traffic issues that LA does. Literally, I've done this drive before, going from Westwood to Pasadena, and that can be like an hour, 45-minute drive.
Well, here's the thing. This game is at 10:30, so it is a night game.
That helps.
So
that helps.
Maybe there will be more people.
There will be. Yeah.
And I mean, you lived in Cali. Would you consider this a low-key rivalry game?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they might come out for it. There might be some marriage couples out there. One's UCLA, one's Stanford.
Yeah, I mean, there's still obviously a decent amount of tech people, entertainment people, a lot of exchange from Stanford there. Yeah. So, yeah, and the fact that it is a 10:30 game, it is going to be LA traffic is way better on Saturday nights as compared to Friday nights. So, yeah, I think I love this play. This is a nice bounce back for the Bruins. Cool. All right, so those are your pick six?
Those are my picks.
All right. Redemption week. We're coming back. We cannot have what happened last week. So I'm making some bold picks this week. I'm going right to it. We already talked about it. California, the Cal Golden Bears. The full name is actually University of California, Berkeley. And they are getting 17.5 points at home with all the hippie woke tree huggers there in Berkeley against this smoking hot Oregon Duck squad. I know it makes no sense, but I gave you all those stats about Justin Wilcox at home, about the Cal Golden Bears against the spread. This is the classic letdown game. Oregon just handled their absolute business at home against a really good UCLA squad. You can't have your A game every week. Listen, I made money in Cal last week against Washington. They covered the spread there again. This game's going to be ugly. I'm going to hate it because Cal has absolutely no chance in the world to win this game.
Let me look up the ticket split for that game.
They have no chance in the world to win this game.
I guarantee Oregon is being housed on tickets.
They
are. It's almost 70% tickets are on Oregon.
Yeah, listen. I'm gonna hate watching.
Never good.
I'm gonna hate watching this game, but I feel really confident that Cal's gonna keep this within probably 2 touchdowns. So that's pick number 1. Pick number 2. I'm doing it.
Say it.
UConn.
Get the fuck out of here.
Plus 7.5.
No.
At home, coming off the bye.
Dude, that's gross.
Against Boston College.
That's
we touted Boston College in the preseason.
Yeah, we were wrong.
Which, by the way, I was right about LSU now. They're starting to smoke people. We were completely wrong.
We were both right on that.
We were completely wrong.
I actually have a ticket on LSU to win the SEC.
That may hit.
Plus 6,000.
Listen, this Boston College team is just straight ass.
Dude, they're ass.
This
game's being bet down.
They're off. It is. Their offensive line is they can't block anything. Boston College has failed to cover in 8 out of the last 9 games. 8 out of the last 9 games, Salbaps, they can't cover.
The team sucks. I watched them play. They're fucking terrible.
UConn, they should have won their last game. I think it was Miami, Ohio. I watched most of the game. They got fucked on a couple weird calls and weird turnovers. So that box score didn't illustrate. UConn won that box score.
This is the first time I've ever seen this. That there are more tickets being placed
on UConn?
Actual UConn.
Dude.
This has to be a fucking champagne bottle.
Yo, all the credit in the world to Jim Mora for what he's done this year.
Yeah, he's gross, dude.
I don't think UConn wins a game, but as bad as the Boston College offense has been, Phil Jurkovich,
they could win.
They could win.
They could win.
I think they keep it within a field goal. So you're giving me UConn plus 7.5 at home off a bye. I'm taking it. Pick number 3 here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Ohio State over my Penn State Nittany Lions. It fucking pains me to say this.
Which is fader squads.
15.5 points. Could Penn State keep it close in the first half? Could Joey Porter Jr. lock up Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. Do I think Penn State actually will cover the first half? I do. You know, Ohio State has been death row records in the third quarter against every single opponent this year.
They rolled in that third quarter against Iowa
Yeah,
last week.
I forget the stat, but it's something
Like, teams
like,
just give up after that third quarter.
dude, like Ohio State basically brings out the guillotine in the third quarter. They say, okay, we've been playing with our food. We've made you feel good about yourselves. Now
That's what they do. Like, when some people watch them play, I've actually had this conversation. Some people don't think Ohio State's that good.
Yeah.
And I get it. I can understand it. But, like, they're not understanding. Like, you have to almost have played football or have an understanding of sports or played sports to get, like, how important the third quarter is.
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously, dude. Like, if you don't come out a half, like, ready to go, you can lose the whole game right there.
That's adjustments, right?
Yes.
Like,
it's coaching.
you find out how good a coaching staff really is.
We know James Franklin is not.
Right, and we know Ryan Day probably should be coaching in the NFL.
The Steelers,
like,
next year.
The fucking Justin Fields with the Bears.
Yeah.
And,
that's possible still.
And it is very possible. And he's not. He's at Ohio State. Listen, if this was a whiteout game and it was 15.5, I would absolutely be picking Penn State. But it's not. It is a slapdick, as we said, Fox, big jerk-off, noon, kickoff.
Imagine getting fucked over by a TV station. Like they ruined your shot.
Fox does own the Big Ten network, so you're literally powerless if you're a Big Ten squad.
But why would you not flex that game?
It pains me to say this. It really does.
The actual primetime game that night is literally fucking Michigan State, Michigan.
Yeah.
It'll be a 30-point game.
Penn State has no shot. Penn State has absolutely no shot. If you have the balls to take Penn State first half covering, I do think that is a potential play, but
Ohio State doesn't have exactly the greatest first halves.
They don't. But that wide receiver core, Joey Porter is one guy. Jair Brown is one guy. Dude, Jackson Smith and Jigba played only 20 snaps last week. Ryan Day was saying, like, yeah, we're probably going to let him play the entire game, or he's going to do 60, 70 snaps. So Penn State has no fucking shot.
If he's playing 60 snaps, I might have to bet Ohio State, dude.
I don't think it matters, even if he doesn't. I honestly,
that's too many.
At this point, I'm all in on Matt Rule as Penn State's next head coach. I want Penn State to lose every single game the rest of the year.
Well, if you're a Penn State fan, how much more of this can you take?
None.
You're gonna get beat.
I can't fucking take any more of it. James Franklin, you fucking suck.
So trash,
you fucking
dude.
suck. Okay, and people don't want to say it. Okay, because let's face it, Penn State, we're a hick redneck school, even though we're really not anymore with all the fucking woke Delco kids that go there. They don't want to say it because they want James Franklin to succeed. We don't fire coaches. That's not in the Penn State DNA. But I'm sorry, James Franklin, you are a snake oil salesman. All you do is you literally go around to all these recruits in the Philly area and you say that you want to be the first black coach to ever win the college football national championship. That is literally what he tells kids.
Imagine actually doing that.
And guess what? All these kids,
fucking disgusting.
It's disgusting. And all these kids, you know what? For whatever reason, they go for it. Okay. I'm saying stop the madness, stop the bullshit. James Franklin, you are a fucking wide receiver coach and a recruiting coordinator. I fucking am sick of this. I'm done. No more Penn State merch for me. I ain't buying no shit. I am definitely not going to any fucking games until we get rid of James Franklin.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great rant, and it's all more people need to say what you're saying. And this whole.
And by the way, most Penn State fans, they don't even know he's half black. I literally told my family that, and they're like, I didn't know James Franklin was black. So this isn't even a racist
his wife's
thing.
Black, and his two kids are as well, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying he's mixed. He's 50-50.
Yeah, I know him.
But he plays I'm going to be the first black coach to win it all.
I mean, that's kind of hysterical, dude. Because most of his base doesn't even know that he's black.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
I'm sure some recruits their boomer parents, when he says that in a room, they're like, wait, he's black.
That's exactly what my family said. It's just a matter of this guy can't coach. He cannot coach. He's had the sanctions ended 5 years ago. Okay. He gets all this elite talent, and he's only able to beat teams he has better talent than. When he faces a team who has comparable talent, like Michigan and Penn State are very even on the recruiting rankings.
Yeah.
He gets fucking rolled. Okay, I'm sick of it.
And to add to that too, let me ask you a question. This is probably gonna be if Bill O'Brien never left, let's say the whole NFL thing would never even happen.
Yes, I would take Bill O'Brien.
Would Bill O'Brien have made the college football playoffs with Penn State in that time that he left to now? I say he has.
Yes. Because O'Brien would have been smart enough to get himself some really amazing recruiters.
I think so too.
And he would have just been he would have been Ryan Day, you know? He would just had you would have such a schematic advantage. I mean, they had it when he was there, where he beat teams he shouldn't have because he was such a good play caller and he was able to scheme guys open.
And for anyone listening to this that like is haters and they're just like, "Oh, you guys are fucking racist," like you're talking about, "Oh, you would pick a white coach over a black." Well, no, dude, we're talking. This is factual information, dude. Bill O'Brien is a top 10 play caller in football.
In college football,
like I mean that. He's a college show.
He's having a rough time right now in Alabama, but
they're still gross.
They're still gross.
Like
that Alabama offensive line is not good, and let's face it, it's hard to coach with Nick Saban.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like Lane Kiffin's an awesome coach. Dude.
Amazing.
And like he got fired before a playoff game. Like, I don't know, dude. So just for anyone out there, "Oh, you guys are fucking racist." No, dude, this guy's a horrendous coach, dude. Like, shut the fuck up. And
if you want to go and hire,
suck a fucking dick.
If you want to give me Mel Tucker, who is blacker than freaking Tuesday at dusk, I would take Mel Tucker in a heartbeat over James Franklin.
I would do that too.
I know
I'm fading them.
I know Michigan State is down this year, but just saying.
Well, dude, they're down because of they lost their whole starting defense the first week of the season.
Yeah, and
2 stud corners down, a safety down, they just suck. But they're not. He's a way better coach than James Franklin.
So
I would argue Michigan State might even beat them this
year. They may. That's my random Penn State. We are all in on the Buckeyes. Next play here, I am taking. This one scares me, but I'm going to do it. In Neyland Stadium, I'm taking Tennessee minus 12.5.
We're both on that.
What we just talked about. Kentucky has one of the slowest time of possessions in the country. That scares the shit out of me on a line that's basically 2 touchdowns. Will Levis is still an athletic freak, even though I still don't understand all the hype around him. But this Tennessee team is a lot they're Ohio State. Kentucky may cover the first half. They may even be winning the first half. There's going to be a point in the third quarter where it's just fucking like you're in war, you're in battle, and all of a sudden you're just being bombarded by fucking, missiles coming at you from every which direction.
Sharps are taking Kentucky.
I'm all in on Tennessee. I love Hendon Hooker. I think Hendon Hooker may actually win the Heisman this year. I can't believe I'm saying it. I think Josh Heupel was a masterful hire at Tennessee. I didn't think he was that great.
No, did not. I can't believe it. Yeah. I can't believe it.
I can't fucking. I mean, he is from Oklahoma. He does kind of have that redneck background in him, but he wasn't that spectacular at UCF.
I can't believe this. I cannot believe this.
And it's working. And I love this Tennessee squad. I'm not betting against them again.
You know what I just realized? We don't have a lock.
Ooh, well, let me finish my picks here and let's discuss it. You're gonna hate this one. I'm taking Fresno State minus 8.5.
Stop betting this fucking league, dude.
Bro,
stop it,
bro. Have you seen how good Fresno State has been these past couple weeks?
They're 1-2 at home against the spread. They're 1-3 on the road against the spread. 2-5 total against the spread, and they're an under 500 team hosting over 500.
They had some rough injuries. Jake Haener, quarterback, got hurt. Logan Fife, Jeff Tedford has this kid rolling. San Diego State fucking blows. They have absolutely no offense. This is the type of team.
They do blow.
If you get up 2 touchdowns on and it's the third quarter, they just self-destruct.
They're like the worst 4-3 football team I've ever seen.
Absolutely. So at only 8.5, I'm absolutely taking Fresno State. And by the way, there's still an outside shot. Jake Haener comes back and plays this game.
So that's probably why it's getting bet up. I mean, this game opened at 7. It's now 8.5.
It doesn't matter. Even if it is Logan Fife, they're going to win by 10 or more. Last play here. I talked about it a little bit. I am, for the first time this year, fading the TCU Poisonous Horned Frogs. They are minus 7.5.
You're
at
addicted
Morgantown.
To this crackhead team, bro. Being involved with them.
Listen, we talked about teams that are completely different at home as opposed to the road. I don't know what it is about Morgantown. Is it just all the cracked, methed out rednecks singing country
No,
roads?
because they don't even sell out their games.
They do.
Dude.
Yeah, that last Baylor game, it was like half full.
Like I don't know, man.
Is it
I mean,
is it just the fact that it's such a long plane ride? It's such a hard play. Like I don't even know. Do you have to fly?
So it's so far away from the rest of their league is the thing.
Yeah.
So like you're going from a completely different geographical topography that they're used to, right?
Right.
So like
Can you even fly into Morgantown?
Yeah, I mean it's not like you have to. Yeah, it's like there's like 2 cities in the whole state. There's like Charleston, and then there's that.
Okay.
But Morgantown, there's got to be. You know what? We'll look it up.
Because I'm just thinking, do you fly into Pittsburgh and then you take a bus down to Morgantown?
You could. I mean, that's why they call it the backyard brawl. It's not far. But let me see. Like Morgantown.
Nevertheless, this
West
TCU
Virginia
team has been flying way too close to the sun. 4 different games now, I said.
They have a highly rated airport, actually.
Get the fuck out of here.
They do, yeah.
What website are you on that rates airports, by the way?
It's just what they're. It's like.
Are you on Yelp?
4.5 out of 5.
Are you on Yelp right now?
No, just type it in Google. Morgantown Municipal Airport. It seems to be highly reviewed.
All right. Well,
I mean, if we can read them out loud. I mean, if you'd like.
Give me the top 5.
Great experience for balloons over Morgantown. One woman says 5 stars 3 weeks ago. Best little airport for cheap. Quick flights to D.C. and Pittsburgh. Parking. Why would any idiot fly to Pittsburgh? They can throw a baseball there. Parking is free and short lines to get through. Yeah, because no one's going there. It was a great experience with a great pilot, some clouds and turbulence, but was handled fine. That has nothing to do with the airport. That's just who you have. Dude, I don't know. Like, I'm just telling you that they have an airport. It does exist. But back to what we were saying about the difference it's just far fucking away, man. Like, it's far away from these other teams.
It just seems like...
Dude, Texas to West Virginia, bro. It's the same as, us going to, New Mexico now.
Why is this line only 7.5?
That's why. Because it's fucking far, man. It's far.
Dude, this line smells... I love West Virginia at home. TCU is due to have a big letdown game. Dude, I actually think... I don't have the balls to take it. I think West Virginia may win this game.
They can, man. I'm not going to say they can at all, dude. They can win. I've seen Morgantown up. How many upsets have we seen in that fucking stupid stadium?
Yeah. So my last play here, West Virginia plus 7.5.
I'm with it. I'm
scares the shit out of me, but
dude, real gangster gamblers are going to be taking that. Trust me.
Yeah. So I have 2 games that scare the shit out of me, but I think they're both going to hit. Cal plus 17.5, West Virginia plus 7.5.
But I like both of them.
All right. So Salbaps, out of my plays. Do we have a boss cock lock between the 2 of us? We didn't pick any games.
Listen, it's a live show. We kind of just I had a great week, so I just fired what I had out there.
We kind of agreed on Tennessee, Kentucky. Do you want to do the under?
I don't think this goes over, man. I mean, they would have to score 64. Actually, you know what? The total 63. I don't know why I said 62.5. That was just one site. You can get these anywhere else at 63. So 64 points to beat this total. I don't see that.
Let's
like you said, like Kentucky's quarterback, they're not built for high tempo.
No.
They're just gonna try to muck this up, dude.
Yeah, they're gonna try to run the ball with Chris Rodriguez.
Let's take this under, dude.
Yeah,
I really believe in this under. It's too many points. I think the number's inflated from how many points Tennessee scored on other teams. But Kentucky's goal is to muck this up. Bama didn't. Bama's goal was to play with them all the time, anyways.
Which was
to stop.
Yeah.
Which they actually. I mean, Bama should have won the game.
They should have.
But still, I mean, our point stands that Kentucky's gonna go into this trying to just dirty this up. They might even start some fights.
I'm with you. Boss cock lock. We're calling for the 63-point total under in Kentucky at Tennessee. It's going to be a great week. I'm feeling good. I think we're going to make some money. Any last words?
No, man. I mean, I'm coming off a good week here. I believe in what we talked about. The college football has been one for the ages this year so far. We still got tons of important games left. And, I mean, fading Penn State or not, can't wait to watch the game. It's going to be a good time, man.
2 points I want to bring up before we close out here that I'm thinking of is we're at that point in the season, Salbaps, where there's going to be games where you need to start fading teams solely because of the quit factor. Start to really look at the message boards.
We're 7 games deep.
See which coaches are about to get fired, and which programs have grossly underachieved. To the top of my head, I'm thinking of Georgia State is a potential quit team. We just saw Charlotte just fired Will Healy as coach. I actually think they're probably going to bounce back now since he got fired. But just looking at I'm thinking Auburn this week may get rolled by Arkansas.
Northwestern's going to quit. I mean, they're 1-6.
Yeah, but Pat Fitzgerald isn't getting fired. So I'm just saying, just keep a lookout.
Could go to the NFL though.
Keep a lookout. I think in the next couple weeks and starting this week, you're going to start to really see the quit factor and start to really fade those teams that, may fall under that category.
Yeah, you got to look them up. You guys got to do your part too. I mean, we're just 2 idiots with microphones in a basement.
Yeah, that's pretty much about it for the week. So you guys fade us, follow us, do whatever the fuck you got to do. But nevertheless, say your prayers, take your vitamins, grow your own food, and make that bread and butter them hoes.